All right, I think we're live, everybody. Welcome to Ramble number 11. Today is November 19th, 2022. So it's been a long time since last Ramble. Here to discuss just like a bunch of things. Firstly, I guess, as you'll notice that we're doing some free-to-play gaming here. Just kind of casually doing some 3.5 tick cooking, 3 tick fish, while like just doing the video, I guess. But yeah, I have been playing this account, and I will get into the reason why, kinda, and I'll kind of go over like the situation with my main. But essentially, I think last Ramble on the main left off with like 800 collections logged or something like that, and from there, basically TOA came out, which wasn't in last Ramble, and then I basically grinded that for 3 months. Basically, I played probably like average probably like 3 raids a day probably. You know, some days had 10 raids, some days had 0 raids, some days had like 4 or 5. I got around like I went on like a 200 dry streak because I was doing like 235 invocation raids, and I'm gonna say, yeah, I got like 4 uniques there in total, and then like the rest of the collection log progress has been just other like minor items. So overall, I've only gained like 15 collection log slots in the last month, and initially, kind of, I set the goal of making 1,000 collection log as like a passive goal, kind of like 1 bill XP was. I'm still for that goal, but like in recent kind of developments, you know, my favorite things in the game consisted of like raiding, mainly TOB, which was really inaccessible, and I ended up like moving 4 clans to try to find TOB raids. Ended up doing we do raids and stuff, just kind of grinded myself and burnt myself out through that. It kind of felt like it was, you know, like I heard a lot of 200 mil runners talk about, or 200 mil attempters, I say, talk about runecraft, and how the essence running aspect felt like it was like a scheduling job, and how that felt so like there's a social grind to that just kind of sucked. And I kind of relate like that when it comes to TOB. I felt a burn from there, but I really found the content enjoyable overall. And same with TOA. TOA was great for the fact that you can be your own boss and you get to like solo it. And so I did do a lot of TOA. Actually, like probably sent, I'm going to say, here, I'm just going to stat check my main, I suppose. Oh, sorry for the like really loud keyboard. 287 TOAs, and I did like 5 expert modes to get, I got like my cape and that's it. Or like the assembler kit. But overall, I have sent TOA. I probably average around like 3.5 raids a day from like 24th of August, like when the content came out, to like, I'm going to say, to like Halloween pretty much, to like October 31st. So just kind of burned out from that too. And then, you know, another thing that I burned out on the main about, before I get into why I like moved to free to play, is like, some of my favorite content in the game was raids, and I kind of gone over why I burnt up raids, and my other favorite content was clues and hallowed sepulchre, aka like agility XP, I guess. But I really liked hard clues and elite clues. Hard clues, I always had the intention of doing a lot of raids first, like 1,000 TOAs, 1,000 TOBs, and then being like, all right, we're gonna buy a TOBO and a shadow after that many raids have gone by, and then we're gonna also save towards a big fund to buy hard clues, because I kind of didn't want to Iron Man clues, to be honest. Well, like all the clues I could like avoid Iron Manning. So like I'm talking about, by the way, I'm missing so many ticks here because I'm just trying to ramble. But yeah, like I could avoid Iron Manning like hard clues or medium clues or easy clues, because those, or beginner clues, right? Because those are all buyable kind of imps. Obviously, elite clues and master clues are really kind of unreasonable to buy. I guess you could buy master clues in a way, but elite clues you definitely are not going to buy dragon imps, like not with the credit card, not with the credit limit that I have. So, but so yeah, that resorted to was a super enjoyable period where I got to do really good elite clues per hour on the stuff that I green logged. So I ended up going really dry on Seracnus, which was fantastic. I went like almost 9,000 kills dry. I'm like second page on the rankings, but I got like 200 elite clues done that way. It was insane. And then I got to Green Log Barrows, which I also kind of went dry on. I went like 1400 KC or something. And actually, I still have my main open. Oh, I only went 1100. Oh, but there was some before the collection log. It was like, yeah, 1200. So got a lot of elite clues from there. But after that, hallowed sepulchre was green logged a long time ago. And obviously, Sarachnis and Barrows were green logged. The other elite clues just felt so slow, and in order to be efficient with the 1000 collection log goal, I ended up I had to choose between like Vorkath, Fasani's Nightmare, or there's like another one that's good for elite clues. Next was actually really good. Next was fun doing like mini masses in Next, like size 8. Kind of gave you a lot of elite clues per hour, but that also required social time and coordination. So really not a lot of stuff, not a lot of good alternatives to elite clues. There never has been in the years, but that ultimately burned me out. So all my favorite stuff in the game burned me out, like elite clues, hallowed sepulchre, not having good elite clue rates. Like it's only like 1,000 clues, 1,100 clues to 200 mil. Like, are you fucking nuts? Raiding kind of just like having some flaws in each type of raid that are different. All of this stuff burnt me out, and then here I am on my free-to-play, so I'll get into that like momentarily, but that's kind of what burnt me from the main. Maybe, so that's one aspect, is just the gameplay burn, and then the other aspect is probably like, I don't like plugins, and I don't like how, they're so like encouraged, at least in a clan environment, and I don't like also that like I just don't I've been finding like Twitter and all that shit really toxic, and like I don't know, it feels so, playing a main at least, I feel so like under a microscope, at least, or at least I felt to myself as well, and that's kind of sounds like a me problem, but yeah, I just didn't have my way with plugins. I didn't enjoy like knowing that they're out there and that like people are doing crazy shit. And here I am in free-to-play where really plugins don't give you an advantage. And that's, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons for transitioning over. I guess I'll jump into that in a bit. But, like the plugin shit. But, that doesn't mean I'm burnt from like the main actually. Like, recently, actually, my friend started unburning and playing. And actually, one of my recent high school friends, shout out to my man Will Smithing, got himself raids ready when he unburnt recently, and he's been burnt for like 7 years. He's been so many updates, but we got him hooked up. So I'm never gonna like burn for the main officially. Like I'll probably play every new quest and do like friendship raids, but that's for that thought. What was I originally talking about? Just like being generally burnt. So plugins and like the gameplay loop of raids and elite clues just being so kind of what I explained earlier. And then, I don't know, I didn't really write any notes for this ramble. I kind of just recorded this one. Did all this shit. But yeah, and then also the hard clue thing I said about, like, I don't know if I said this earlier, but, like, I want to buy all my clues easy to hard. That fund is, like, requires billions of GP. And when I considered all of, like, the raiding, the 1,000 KC of each raid to get the collection log items there and get some elite clues along the way, and then like, when I considered buying the hard log like after like 2,000 raids KC, I was like, with my expectations, I watched like an automology video that talked about setting your expectations like realistically. Why am I dropping these? Actually, it should be 3 ticking, but the video talked about setting expectations that are realistic. So for example, if you work like a full-time job, don't think you're gonna go for like 40 EHP plus weeks. Like, set it to something like 15 to 25. Like, don't overdo it. And like, I kind of just found the main game, at least that high level PVM main game, which kind of just like is a very sloggy, long grind fest. I just found it all to be way too overwhelming, way too like it requires extra investment that I feel like that energy and like investment level that I had, I do not like have in the game anymore. Like maybe when I was a teenager and I just had like more energy to like play like ridiculous hours and also more energy to just sit down. I work from home like the last year. I really can't be bothered to like have such a complex plan like I had for 1,000 collection log and a 1 bill XP and doing all the raids and doing my favorite stuff in the game, which is raids and elite clues. Like all that stuff just felt so kind of. It took a long time. I liked the goals. I enjoyed playing it, but it took a long time, and I don't think I could do it without dreading on some of like the flaws and like raids and my favorite content like elite clue rates. So I am decided to dumb it down and go to free to play. So those are all of the reasons. And so IRL plugins and like basically not enjoying like flaws in some of my favorite content. So here I am on free to play, and I've decided to just log in when I feel like playing and log out when I don't feel like playing. So today, for example, I've made like 270k cooking and 200k fishing XP. Sometimes like it could be less. Sometimes I'll never log in. But yeah, like the membership on my main is like expiring soon, my Premier Club, and I'm just gonna literally just log in when I feel like logging in. Like kind of like the urge you get when you're like, let's say you have the urge to watch a Netflix episode. It's something that like is not too, doesn't require too much effort, but isn't too like reclined and lazy in a way. Like it requires some level of engagement, and like when you have that urge, that's kind of like the urge I have for free to play. It's like nothing better to do on a Wednesday night when I'm tired. I can't focus and do vorkath or whatever. I can't focus and like play like a CS game. So log into free to play. Like it makes so much sense. It is, and also like I'm honestly personally a guy who like really appreciates the simplicity. Like I talked about how the plans for like the hard clue log and just doing elite clues in general were so like complex and required so much time. Free to play is just like what when you log in, gains are gains. What you input is what you get. You can be very realistic and forecastable with your goals and expectations, and like there is no just like overwhelming kind of responsibility, especially because it's free. You log in when you like feel like. You log in when you feel like. Sorry, I had like a mental slip because I heard a really loud cough, sneeze in the background. But also I'm baked as hell if y'all haven't noticed, but. This is a great ramble so far, in my opinion. But yeah, like there's just so much like simplicity to free to play, which is really calming. And life is going well right now. And another reason is just being like IRL. Like I'm in my mid-20s, man. I'm trying to. At least I think every mid-20s person should try to at least to some magnitude like work on your skills and work on shit. This gaming shit, it's really not forever. Especially if you're not like an esports player or like a content creator. Like, what are you doing setting 200 mil goals and shit? Like, it's kind of what I kind of realized, and that's why I think when I burned out from Rooney on my main, like I'm just explaining right now, I don't think it's the type of burn that'll ever come back to it. I really think I'm like retiring from that end level grind mindset content. I feel like I'm just gonna be a guy who can enjoy the game as like a break kind of thing. Like free to play is really like enough for me, dude. I used to play in Area Luck. It's like the same type variety of content. So there's all that to that. Just been doing that really. Kind of just retiring from like the end game. It feels like I said, I will play like a quest every new quest that comes out, or I'll do some friendship raids with my friends because like I wouldn't, they'd be bummed if I burned on them at least for raids. And I'm so glad to see my old friends really just playing the game. So friends are friends, right? So yeah, shout out to my friends The Gang and Will Smithing, and shout out to Fencing Duck, also my IRL friend. Not related to what I was saying earlier, but Fencing Duck is rank 3. Dude, I gotta stop dropping the fish when I'm talking because I need to 3-tick with it. But Fencing Duck is rank 3 elite clues. He's my friend IRL, and he got rank 3, and he's like, you know what? Let me tell you quickly his clue ranks, because my friend Fencing Duck, my IRL friend, shout out to him. He has 26,000 clues completed. He's not even maxed. He's 22.1k total. He's rank 16 all clues, rank 3 easy, and rank 184 master. And the buddy plays on the Steam client, so Shout out to my man Fencing Duck, who's been playing as long as I have, basically 2007. He got me into the game when I was at his house once at a party. That's as far as I go. I'm not going to reveal like my ethnicity. It was kind of like an ethnic party, but so shout out to all those people. Free to play, has also like a nice community that I feel like I can. It is kind of elitist in some senses. There is also some like spreadsheet nerds that I greatly respect. By the way, I listen to like a lot of their podcasts and stuff. But there's also just like a super like friendly side where like I know a lot of people have just like who aren't regulars have just mic'd up and started talking to some people and just having a good time, and it's just people skilling and socializing over voice, which is just cool. There's some people on some insane shit. There's some people on some like high level shit. There's some people just I don't know, getting 99 strength with a bronze scimitar of flesh crawlers. It's happened before. So, it's all like, it's a variety group of people. It's a big ass clan, this 385 clan. So you're going to get all types of crazy people. You're going to get retards. You're going to get like fucking racist people. You're going to get, immature kids. I don't know. But for the most part, you can find some good people in here. And the dedicated people definitely are kind of separated in a way. Just like they were in the Zaya community. So it's all alright. It balances out in the end. And as for this account, it's mainly just like I'm going to keep it like, I'm going to say it's going to be like a PKing account, but it's going to have access to a lot of content. So it's going to be 40 attack, 40 defense, but it's going to be 99 prayer. So it's going to be like combat level 95. I was debating 1 defense, but I don't know. I do want to do tick manipulation mining, and it's kind of hard with 1 defense, but HP is going to stay low for like a really long time because there's a lot of methods that involve low HP, which can be kind of to your advantage because it involves PvP worlds and like PKing yourself. So yeah, and not going to play in the most efficient manner. Like as you can see, I'm doing some casual 3.5 tick cook, 3 tick fishing here that I kind of like have talked over. And, sometimes I don't 3 tick, sometimes I do. But, yeah, bro, the beauty of free-to-play, I encourage everyone to just give it a shot. I think I play on a main because I like access to the most content. I want to have trimmed armor. It could be anything like holiday items to wanting to have, like, trimmed armor to wanting to have, like, the methods are better. Like, I don't want to go to the Rune Essence mine, I'll be honest. And I don't want to go bury every single bone that I kill, so that's why I don't want to play Iron Man. I'll be honest, like I investigated the skilling methods thoroughly. And also, I don't want to be able to smith, I don't want to have to smith a rune axe and like a rune scimitar and a rune plate body. No thanks. Just, you guys can have fun doing that. It's a fun grind. It's definitely more goal oriented than the main. I recommend people try free to play UIM, to be honest, because it actually has like, it's not that hard. You don't need a bank really. As a free to play Iron Man, you don't need a bank. But yeah, playing a main is fun. You get to PK people. I like I said, it's gonna be a PKing account. I want to be able to PK, and like what else is there? I want to be able to just have trimmed armor and like gilded armor and Ceradomin and shit. So yeah, shout out Ceradomin. Actually, I'm Guthix gang, but it's all cool. It's all cool. Yeah, y'all, we're out here gaming. Let me just check, like, my notepad. Is there anything I missed? But yeah, that's the, I'm not gonna make, so I've progressed, like, 25 collection log slots, by the way, since, last Ramble on my main. So that's why you also haven't seen a video in, like, a couple months, is because, I like to make a video every plus 50 collection logs, but that's it hasn't happened because TOA I went really dry and lost some motivation after 287 kill count. So yeah, just every day doing the same thing, and it kind of felt like a job given the macro goals. All right, I've repeated that point like so much. I've repeated the elite clues point. I talked about IRL a bit. I guess another thing I can mention about IRL is like for me recently I've gone through like burning on my main is kind of like a paradigm shift IRL for me because, I am in my mid-20s. I did mention like how I want to personally grow. life has been going kind of good for me. I have found love. Maybe you've heard me like a couple rambles ago talk about how I was single and stuff. Like I touched on it very briefly. I don't want to share personal life and get emotional here, but yeah, that has made a great turnaround. Let's just say I'm in a relationship, and my outlook is just different. I don't even have time to play RuneScape. I'm a working man, and I got shit to learn. For example, I've been learning how to buy a car front and back, buy a car, and I'm gonna learn how to auto repair a car just for the sake of personal finance. And for example, something like that requires time, especially when you got like a workout regimen and you got a full-time work schedule, and then you got a girlfriend. You can't log in for these big ass RuneScape goals, just log in for some free to play when you're like so fucking tired and you got nothing better to do, right? This is a weekend, by the way. I would never make this many gains in a day here to the left that you see. But anyways, those are all the points. Another point I'm going to touch about is there's some people who inspired me, some high level players that I looked up to that have kind of inspired my decision to kind of retire from the end game world. Shout out Automology. He's first. So I did mention this video about managing your expectations. But I also want to just say that he's a guy who went for 200 mils. He enjoyed skilling. He completely quit his main account. He also happens to play free to play. He hasn't really he didn't really get my interest into free to play, but he just happens to play it. But what I was inspired by him was how he just kind of set he works a tech job, computer science related, full time. He started working out. He also has that same schedule like I have, and he said and he's just having fun too, and he also appreciates the simplicity of free to play, and he never minds skilling like I did. When I was maxing my account, that was probably the most fun, especially from 1900 total to 2.1k. Probably the most fun I've had skilling ever. Played a lot of competitions, and learned a lot about the game in that time. And yeah, I really enjoyed maxing. Free to play is kind of that's all related to Automology, kind of all that shit. So another shout I want to give is Fat Clouds, because his life has kind of turned around. He's lost 80 pounds, he said, I think. And he's just also used to go really hard skilling. He was a rank 10 Iron Man, and now he plays the game super casually, the way I want to play free to play, where he's just doing raids for fun. He doesn't really care about 4.6 bill anymore. Kind of just more just focus on other stuff, as he should be, at this age. This gaming shit doesn't last forever, y'all. Like I said earlier, unless you're a content creator or some shit, get your life together, bro. Listen to some David Goggins or something. Shout out David Goggins. I don't really pay too much attention to him, but I see his videos occasionally on my feed. Shout out also Sebe, because Sebe also had some crazy goals in mind, wanting to complete the elite clue log, and wanting to do a lot of fucking Sarachnis. He kind of changed his plan where he started focusing on his mental health as well, but also when it came to his RuneScape goals, that's where I drew his inspiration. Was he kind of decided to explore the collection log, not really obsess himself and get lost in the sauce of a ridiculous goal like the Sarachnis kills. So he's kind of learned, what I inspired by him is just. And we're back after a unexpected intrusion. My dad would just wanted to say something, but so this is the first time I'm gonna have to pause a ramble. But this ramble's so good that I was I gotta edit it out and back in. So I can't really remember what I wanted to. Oh yeah, I was giving Sebe a shout, how he basically just turned his mental health around, and also kind of expanded his super long-term goal idea to consist of just enjoying game updates, focusing on collection log, and kind of passively achieving all his stuff. So he took a passive approach like I'm taking free to play. So I'm just inspired by all these people for these very nuanced reasons. That's kind of most of the notes here. Just yeah. I want to know in the comments, I suppose, if anyone has. First of all, say something if you got to this far in the video. This is fucking insane. Second of all, let me know if you've burnt ever, and if you've burnt to the point where like you're not the same RuneScape player you were after this burn. You know, I just feel like I'm aging. I don't feel like I have that teenager energy, for example. Like this is all what I'm saying here. Shout out Roses on Zaya. I hope he watches this video because I care for the brother from Bulgaria. Yeah, y'all. I wish you guys well. I really do. Like I want to say to all the RuneScape players to just focus on their mental health, focus on some IRL, figure out either what you want to do in life or like learn something. Maybe read a book. Like just progress yourself. You know, don't get lost in this culture sphere that is like a toxic gaming community, generic gaming community, or like don't get lost in this like Twitch culture, this like just this immature place where you know you're looking up to people that you know you can honestly be a better person than these people. You know they're on social media, and what you see from them might inspire you, and you know super kind of like it might look surreal and amazing, but really you know it's pretty bleak and average on under the hood, and just you know you gotta work, you gotta be realistic if you want to survive, especially with this economy, and especially with like you know wanting to be like a future-proof, apocalyptic-proof, everything-proof, you know, just focus on yourself, so it'll pay you off, you know, treat RuneScape like a fun relaxation mechanism, you know, kind of like the way girls treat shopping, you should treat RuneScape. Alright, guys, that's gonna be it for me, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll probably catch you around sometime.